Over the last few weeks, I've been working on a number of vector-based car illustrations in Affinity Designer for the iPad, and I thought, now I've got my head around it a little bit, it's about time I started to show you exactly what I've been doing and how I do it. So here's a quick look at some of the drawings I've been doing, and what we're going to be working on today is this Land Rover Defender. Now, I've chosen the Defender. It's not really my most obvious choice of vehicle to do, but what I've been struggling with on all my cars is tyres. So I wanted to choose something with nice chunky tyres where I can get loads of detail and zoom in. So I took out my Sony A6400 rather than using my my Google Pixel. Took some decent pictures of it, and this is going to be the first video of a tutorial series on how I draw these cars. So I've opened my photograph of the Land Rover Defender in Affinity Designer. The first thing I'm going to show you is this number plate. I always create a layer just to scrub out the number plate because I don't know who the car belongs to. It was just in the street, so I didn't want to, just want to protect their privacy a bit. So I've created a layer called Do Not Remove or Do Not Turn Off. So that just stays on. But that's what that is. And I've created three basic groupings already. One's the wheels, one's the glass house, and the other is body detail. And there will be more specific things as we go, but they're the three main groups that I use. So let's just turn all of them on and see where I've got to so far. So wheels are just discs at the minute. The body is just a silhouette, and the glass is just basic fills of the over the photo. So I've got one last remaining window. So let's look at how we're going to do that. Let's just turn off the body and the wheels. So I've used the pen tool to trace around the outside, and then I've given it a fill colour, which is the using the eyedropper tool. I've just picked up the framework. Let's just turn that back on. So that's what it looks like at the minute. Now, if you're new to Affinity Designer, this is going to be quite an advanced thing, and I strongly suggest you check out my quick start guide to Affinity Designer on the iPad first, because this is quite advanced. And it's quite a long project, so if you're not fast, it could take you a long time, and I don't want you burning out before you get finished. So here we go on this one. What we want to do is next create the glass. Now, there's a couple of ways we can do that. We can either trace around again on the inside and stack it on top of the one we've just created, or you could duplicate this and then shrink it down. But as we can see, we've got some irregular corners, so I think we're going to use on my first option, which is going to grab the pen tool again and just run around the inside of this. I'm going to start here. Don't worry about the dark. I want to create the main sections first, so we're going to pull in all the glass area, and we can come back round and do the shadow areas later. If you try to be too precise too early on, you'll just end up with loads of seams that don't quite match, and you'll have bits showing through from the layer underneath. So I like to just block it in with big sections and then come in on top. I'm just using the handles I picked up by tapping on the nodes just to get a bit of fine tuning on these. It's not too bad. Let's straighten these edges up. And this one's got a bit of a curve to it. That's not bad. Okay, so what we're going to do is go to the colour palette, pick up the eyedropper. I'm just going to pick up this grey of the glass and then tap on it, and that'll fill it. So that's on top of that. So we turn those two on. And it's looking a bit of a mess, but it gets better as we go. So what's next? I think we should do the shadow sections next. So I'm going to tap on the group again, glass house, pick up the pen tool, and then just carry on drawing. Now the pencil, the Apple Pencil is going to, if you're too far zoomed out, you won't be able to make an accurate selection. So when things are narrow like this, always zoom in a little bit. Let's just follow that curve there. So we're going to come up down this center section, pick up this frame, put a little radius in that one, and then back to the start. Pick up the node tool and we'll go back round. And then just put the corners in. Not quite happy. This is a little bit, that's a bit too far over. Let's just move that in a little bit. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So what we'll do, same again, just go into the colour palette, pick up the colour picker, and we'll pick up that colour. Then tap on the colour you just selected, and then turn your glass house back on. And just tap off. So there you can see, a little bit run over there, let's fix that in a second. But yeah, you can see the shape of the window starting to take form. We'll just flick the glass house on and off. So I'm going to carry on using that same method. We'll pick up these shadows and we'll do all these little details. I'll do that off camera, so I think you can get the idea of how this is done. And then we'll have a look at it at the end. And here's the window with a few more details added. I put in these little vents, little highlights and lowlights. We'll just turn off the glass house, you'll see. Try to be faithful to the photo. What I want to do though is change the base colour of the glass from the reflection to match the other window on this same side of the vehicle. So let's turn that back on. So yeah, I chose the highlight to begin with, so I've swapped it to the low light on the reflected glass there. So now what we're going to do is put in this reflection. So I'm going to pick up the pen tool again, and this bit is a bit different. So I'm going to be fairly faithful to the reflection. I don't want to completely copy the reflections on the car because I'm going to put the finished result into a different setting. So I don't want to be following the chimneys and roof lines if it's going to be in a desert setting, for example. So I'm going to use it as a guide. So I can be quite clumsy on this selection because I'm going to hide the reflection underneath the shadow area here. But I've got to be quite tight on this bit because I've got nothing. This is just an edge. So let's just try and get this as tight as I can. And you'll see when I turn the layer back on that it's probably going to be missing. There's probably a big gap down the side there, but that's okay, we can fix that. Okay, let's see what that looks like. So I'm going to just fill it with white, and you'll see it's, because of the way it's created in the layer stack, it's above the, actually let's put it into Glasshouse, and then we can move it underneath this framework. There we go. So let's just check out this edge because I'm not sure I've got this one right. Let's turn the snapping on, see if we can get this. Yeah, it's not quite happy there, but it's close enough, I think. That's okay. And to finish, we can give it some transparency. So we come over to the gradient tool, tap on that, tap on it again, you get transparency, and then we can just draw across the image. That was a pretty good shot straight away. It's given it a pretty good match to this one across here. I'm not going to mess with that. I think that's okay. So that's the semi-finished window. I'll probably come back to these towards the end of the drawing, add in some extra highlights on the framework. But I think for this video, that kind of shows you what the game is all about. So let's just turn on the bodywork. Let's just have a quick look at it all together. Yeah, starting to take shape. So that concludes this video. Hope you found it useful. If you did, please give me a like and maybe even consider checking out my other videos and give me a subscribe. There's going to be a lot more to do on this Land Rover. We've got the bodywork to finish, the wheels to do. I'm going to do some more reflection work and highlights, specular highlights, things like that. So stick around. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.